The alien fleets hung in Earth's sky like metallic storm clouds, their shadows stretching across continents. Commander Jake Morrison stood in the ruins of what had once been the Global Defense Network headquarters, watching the final evacuation. Ships struggled to breach the blockade above. Most wouldn't make it. "Sir, we're receiving another surrender demand," reported Lieutenant Amy Cross, her voice barely steady through the static of their failing communications. Jake didn't respond. Immediately, his weathered hands gripped the edge of the tactical display, knuckles white against the cracked surface. 72 hours ago, humanity had been celebrating the successful colonization of Mars. Now they were counting their remaining hours in single digits. The Vorthan Collective had arrived without warning, their massive dreadnoughts materializing at the edge of the solar system like nightmares given form. Their message had been simple and brutal: surrender or face extinction. They claimed ownership of this sector of space by right of conquest, having defeated the previous inhabitants millennia ago. "They're not going to wait much longer," Amy continued, her fingers dancing across her console. "Admiral Stone's fleet is down to 12 ships. The lunar bases have gone dark. We've lost contact with the outer colonies." Jake finally turned from the display, his gray eyes reflecting the fires burning in the distance. "What about the research stations? Any word from the deep space laboratories? Station 7 went silent 6 hours ago. The Vorthans hit them hard." Amy paused, then added quietly, "But sir, there's something strange in the final transmission from Dr. Emma Ward's team." The commander moved closer, studying the scrambled data streaming across Amy's screen. Dr. Ward had been working on exotic physics applications, something about quantum field manipulation. Most of the scientific community had dismissed her work as theoretical fantasy. "She kept repeating something about the key was always here," Amy said, enhancing the audio feed. "And then this." The static cleared for a moment, revealing Dr. Ward's urgent voice. "Jake, if you're hearing this, check the basement laboratory in Building C. The prototype works. It always worked. We just needed to understand what we were looking at." Jake felt a chill run down his spine. He had known Emma since their academy days, had served on 3 missions with her before she'd chosen research over field command. If she said something worked, it meant humanity might still have a chance. "Amy, gather what's left of the technical team. We're going to Building C." The journey across the compound was treacherous. Vorthan fighters screamed overhead, their energy weapons turning concrete and steel into molten slag. Jake's small team moved between the shadows of collapsed structures, using every piece of cover available. Building C had taken a direct hit, its upper floors pancaked into rubble. But the basement levels, carved deep into bedrock, remained intact. Emergency lighting cast eerie shadows as they descended through twisted corridors, filled with the acrid smell of burned electronics. Dr. Ward's laboratory occupied the deepest level. Jake found her there, slumped over her workstation, her final calculations still glowing on multiple screens. Despite everything, she had died working. "Sir, look at this," called out Dr. Marcus Bell, the team's remaining physicist. He stood before a device that resembled a metallic sphere suspended within a complex framework of electromagnetic coils. "These readings are impossible. The energy signatures suggest space-time distortion, but the power requirements should be enormous. This thing is running on a standard fusion cell." Jake studied the displays surrounding the device. Even with his limited scientific background, he could see that something extraordinary was happening. The sphere seemed to bend light around itself, creating a subtle distortion in the air. "Emma always said we were thinking too small," Jake murmured, remembering countless late-night discussions about humanity's place in the universe. She believed the universe was more connected than we realized. Amy's voice crackled through their comm system. "Sir, the Vorthans are beginning their final assault. We have maybe 20 minutes before they break through the last defensive line." Jake made his decision. Dr. Bell, can you make this thing transport a ship? In theory, yes. But we'd need to scale up the field generators, recalibrate the quantum matrices. Bell's voice trailed off as he realized what Jake was suggesting. Sir, we don't have time for proper testing. One mistake and we could tear a hole in space-time itself. The alternative is watching our species get wiped out, Jake replied grimly. How long do you need? Give me 15 minutes. I'll need to access the shipyard's power grid and jury-rig the field projectors to the Defiant's hull. The Defiant was humanity's newest prototype warship, designed for deep space reconnaissance. It sat in the underground hangar, its sleek hull unmarked by the battle raging above Dot, as Bell and his team worked frantically to install the alien-seeming device. Jake contacted the remaining human forces across the system. All units, this is Commander Morrison. I need you to buy us 15 more minutes. Everything depends on it. The response was immediate. Every remaining pilot, every functioning ship, every last soldier threw themselves at the Vorthan forces with desperate fury. They knew they were buying time with their lives. With 5 minutes to spare, Bell announced the modifications were complete. Sir, we're ready. But I have to warn you, I have no idea where this will take us. Jake strapped himself into the pilot's seat, his hands steady on controls he'd trained with for decades. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. The Defiance. Engines roared to life, but something was different. Instead of the familiar blue glow of conventional drives, space around the ship began to fold. Reality twisted, and suddenly they were elsewhere, not just somewhere else, but someone else. Through the viewports, Jake saw a sight that made his heart race. Ships, thousands of them, bearing humanity's insignia, but of designs he'd never seen before. Advanced beyond anything his era had produced. A communication request appeared on his console. Jake accepted it and found himself face to face with an older woman wearing an admiral's uniform he didn't recognize. Commander Morrison, she said with a slight smile. We've been waiting for you. Welcome to humanity's real fleet. Jake stared in confusion. I don't understand. Who are you? When are we? Admiral Lisa Chun, Temporal Defense Command. As for when, that's complicated. Dr. Ward's device didn't just move you through space, Commander. You've traveled through time itself. You see, humanity discovered faster-than-light travel in your era, just as Emma theorized. But we also discovered something else. Time isn't linear when you're moving between stars. The implications hit Jake. Like a physical blow. You mean ... That's right. The future you're looking at now is what happens when humanity survives the Vorthan attack. We've been fighting them across time itself, sending resources and knowledge back to ensure our own timeline survival. The device Emma created wasn't just an FTL drive. It was a temporal anchor. Jake felt hope surge through him for the first time in days. Then we can win this, Admiral Chun nodded. We already have, Commander. We just needed you to make the jump that started it all. Now let's go home and show the Vorthans what humanity is really capable of. As the Defiant prepared to return to its own time, now accompanied by a fleet that spanned centuries, Jake realized that Emma had been right all along. The universe was more connected than they had ever imagined, and humanity's greatest strength had always been their ability to adapt, to learn, and to never give up hope, even when it seemed like all was lost.